Have you ever felt trapped in your own mind, as if every thought is a thread in a never-ending maze? Overthinking can feel like a prison with invisible walls, where every decision, every word, every small action becomes magnified into endless what-ifs. It starts subtly, a message left unanswered, a comment that needs replying, or a simple choice about what to do next. But soon your mind spirals into loops of doubt and worry. The mind, our most trusted ally, becomes a relentless critic, replaying events that never happened, imagining consequences that may never occur, and whispering fears that feel unbearably real. You are not alone. Overthinking is more common than most realize, and understanding why it happens is the first step to freeing yourself. Psychologists explain that overthinking often stems from the brain's natural need to predict and control the future. Long ago, anticipating threats, preparing for danger, and analyzing choices quickly were essential for survival. Today, these instincts remain, but in a modern world filled with abstract pressures rather than immediate dangers, they can trap us in cycles of worry. Overthinking is essentially the mind simulating what could go wrong to protect us, but this simulation often creates more stress than safety. The tool that was meant to serve us becomes a source of exhaustion and anxiety. Uncertainty is a magnet for overthinking. When outcomes are unknown, the mind jumps into overdrive, analyzing every variable, every interaction, every small signal that might hint at the right choice. You replay conversations, question your decisions, and scrutinize the reactions of others, trying to predict what will happen next. But life rarely gives fixed answers, and no matter how much you analyze, some factors will always remain out of your control. The harder you chase certainty, the further it slips away, leaving you stuck in a cycle where thinking seems safer than acting. Fear of failure or rejection is another driving force. Every thought becomes a potential threat. What if I say the wrong thing, make a mistake, or upset someone? The mind rehearses worst-case scenarios endlessly, as if this preparation could prevent mistakes. But this rehearsal doesn't stop failure. It amplifies anxiety and paralyzes decision-making. Overthinkers often feel stuck because their inner critic dominates, drowning out the quiet guidance of intuition. Interestingly, overthinking can disguise itself as careful planning or creativity. Sometimes, what starts as productive problem-solving transforms into obsessive rumination. Emotional awareness becomes critical here. You need to notice when your thoughts are helping versus when they trap you. Ask yourself, am I trying to solve a problem, or am I feeding my anxiety? Recognizing the difference is liberating. It allows you to step out of the mental loop before it consumes more time and energy than the situation deserves. Perfectionism often fuels overthinking. Overthinkers tend to hold themselves to impossible standards, believing every choice must be flawless. Conversations are rehearsed, decisions are scrutinized, and every potential error is magnified. Perfectionism convinces you that one misstep could have disastrous consequences, but life rarely unfolds that way. Mistakes are growth opportunities, yet overthinking makes it difficult to accept them as natural learning experiences. Sleep often suffers when overthinking takes hold. Racing thoughts at night replay conversations, anticipate future problems, and try to solve everything at once. Chronic overthinking can lead to insomnia, exhaustion, irritability, and even physical health issues. This forms a vicious cycle. Sleeplessness heightens anxiety, which fuels more overthinking, which further disrupts rest. But there are ways to regain control. Mindfulness is a powerful tool. Being present, observing thoughts without judgment, and gently returning focus to the moment trains the mind to step out of obsessive loops. Meditation, even for a few minutes daily, strengthens this skill. Grounding exercises, journaling, or focusing on your breath can create mental space where the noise of overthinking diminishes. Action is another antidote. Overthinking often masquerades as preparation, but movement disrupts rumination. Even small steps forward break the cycle, proving you can handle outcomes imperfectly. Action produces clarity, while inaction allows imagined scenarios to grow unchecked. By embracing imperfection and testing possibilities, you reclaim control over your mind. Self-compassion is essential. Overthinkers are often harsh judges of themselves, holding their minds to unattainable standards. Practicing kindness toward yourself, acknowledging uncertainty, and forgiving mistakes reduces the intensity of mental loops. You are not failing because you cannot predict every outcome. You are human, and your mind is doing its best with the tools it has. Social interactions can amplify overthinking. Many replay conversations or messages endlessly, wondering how others perceive them. This stems from a deep desire for acceptance, but obsessing over others' opinions gives them undue power. You cannot control perception, only your response. Focusing on authenticity and letting go of imagined judgments liberates mental energy and quiets unnecessary loops of thought. Even small decisions become battlegrounds. Should you reply immediately or wait? Accept an invitation or decline? Every choice can feel weighty, as if your happiness hinges on perfect execution. Constant pressure drains energy, leaving you exhausted and frustrated. Remember, not every decision requires exhaustive thought. Some can rely on intuition, freeing mental space for matters that truly deserve it. Curiosity, too, can both feed and relieve overthinking. Channeled productively, it fosters problem-solving, learning, and insight. Unbounded, it fuels endless speculation and hypothetical scenarios. Setting limits ensures curiosity becomes a tool for growth rather than a trap for your mind. To truly overcome overthinking, we must recognize it as a habit, not a permanent flaw. Habits can be changed, patterns can be disrupted, and attention can be retrained. One powerful method is setting mental boundaries. Decide in advance how much time you will spend analyzing a problem, and then commit to stopping once that limit is reached. This may feel uncomfortable at first, as the mind resists change, but with repetition, it begins to respect the boundaries you set. Limiting the mental space dedicated to rumination is liberating and builds confidence in your ability to manage thoughts. Another approach is reframing your thoughts. Overthinking often amplifies the negative and ignores the positive. By consciously shifting focus to what is working, what is under your control, or what lessons can be learned, you create a healthier perspective. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve this situation, rather than dwelling on hypothetical failures? This subtle shift from problem obsession to solution-oriented thinking reduces anxiety and creates momentum. Journaling is also a remarkable tool. Writing down your thoughts allows the mind to release mental clutter. When fears and doubts are externalized on paper, they lose some of their power. You can examine them objectively, challenge irrational beliefs, and notice recurring patterns. Over time, journaling becomes a mirror, helping you recognize when your thoughts serve you and when they trap you. It is a quiet yet powerful act of self-awareness. Visualization techniques can complement this practice. Picture yourself taking decisive action despite uncertainty. Imagine facing feared outcomes calmly, or see yourself completing tasks without obsessive analysis. Visualization trains the brain to respond differently in real situations. It strengthens resilience, builds confidence, and reminds you that imperfection does not equal failure. Overthinking often thrives in imagination, but guiding imagination intentionally can transform it into a force for empowerment. Physical movement is another critical factor. The mind and body are interconnected. Tension, restlessness, or lack of activity amplifies anxious thoughts. Exercise, stretching, walking, or even simple breathing sequences release pent-up energy and calm the nervous system. When the body is grounded, the mind often follows. Overthinkers frequently underestimate how much movement alone can interrupt the mental loop and restore clarity. Social support matters too. Sharing thoughts with trusted friends or mentors provides perspective. Sometimes, simply verbalizing worries exposes how small or improbable they really are. Overthinking thrives in isolation. Connection weakens its grip. But choose your listeners wisely. Seek people who offer empathy, clarity, and constructive insight rather than those who magnify worry. Technology and social media can exacerbate overthinking. Constant notifications, comparisons, and information overload give the mind endless material to analyze. Digital detoxes, limiting exposure, or scheduling specific times for social media use can significantly reduce unnecessary mental stimulation. Protecting your attention is crucial. Overthinking thrives where focus is scattered and uncontrolled. Acceptance is a cornerstone of freedom from overthinking. Life is unpredictable, and not every question has an immediate answer. Embracing uncertainty, letting go of control, and trusting yourself to navigate outcomes builds resilience. The mind may resist at first, craving certainty and control, but acceptance creates mental space and reduces the emotional charge of imagined scenarios. Cultivating patience is equally important. Change does not occur overnight. Overthinking may be deeply ingrained, but every small intervention, pausing before reacting, practicing mindfulness, setting limits, taking action, accumulates over time. Notice the progress, celebrate small victories, and allow yourself grace when the mind slips back into old patterns. Patience and persistence are your allies. It's also essential to recognize triggers. Stressful situations, decision-making pressure, and fear of judgment are often catalysts. By identifying circumstances that ignite overthinking, you can proactively prepare strategies, breathing exercises, journaling, mindfulness, or immediate action to prevent escalation. Awareness is the first line of defense. You might ask, can overthinking ever be a gift? In moderation, yes. Deep reflection, foresight, and careful planning are valuable, but the moment thought becomes repetitive, anxious, or paralyzing, it crosses into harm. Learning to harness the mind's power without being enslaved by it is the ultimate skill. The difference lies in observation, choice, and action. So what can you do right now? Start by noticing your thoughts without judgment. Pause before acting on mental loops. Practice one small mindfulness exercise, take a brief walk, or journal for 5 minutes. Each small step trains the mind to let go of unnecessary analysis. With practice, the grip of overthinking loosens, and clarity, calm, and confidence emerge. Ask yourself in the comments, which recurring thoughts have been controlling your life, and how do you plan to release them? Sharing your experience might inspire someone else to break free from their own cycles of overthinking. Remember, your mind is a powerful tool, but it works best when guided with intention. Release the need for perfect control, trust your instincts, and take imperfect action. Each time you choose presence over rumination, action over fear, you reclaim a piece of your life. Life is not meant to be lived in endless mental loops. It is meant to be felt, experienced, and acted upon. Start today, honor your journey, and let each thought serve you rather than trap you. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more insights that help you understand your mind and unlock your potential.